Welcome back to the Senior Power Community channel. This tutorial, rest assured, is not about turning you into a technology expert. Rather, it is about showing you how to use the Senior Power ChatGPT Workbook in a practical way, step by step, so you can become better prepared before important conversations, filling out confusing paperwork, making family decisions, getting answers to medical questions, car buying pressure, and anything else where you need clearer thinking. ChatGPT, remember, is not here to make decisions for you. The workbook is not here to replace your own judgment. The purpose is much simpler and much more useful and, dare say, much stronger. It's use ChatGPT to help you organize your thoughts, ask better questions, prepare stronger messages, and slow things down before you act. That is the Senior Power approach. Use AI to prepare, use people records and qualified professionals to decide. And remember, information plus knowledge always equals senior power. In this tutorial, as you'll see, we are going to walk through the workbook the way it is meant to be used, not as a book you simply read. As a working tool, the workbook helps you take a situation that may feel confusing and break it into a clear process. First, you identify what you want help with. Then you give ChatGPT the background it needs. Then you set rules so the answer is useful, plain, and limited. And then you ask for a specific output, a checklist, a script, a list of questions, a comparison, or even a next step plan. And then comes the most important part. You review the answer. You do not blindly accept it. You check it against records, facts, common sense, and qualified professionals when needed. The purpose of this tutorial is to show you how to use the workbook to make ChatGPT useful, not risky, not confusing, and not in control. You stay in control. ChatGPT helps you prepare. And let me just add one thing here. As we step through it, please feel free to hit the pause button to hold my narrative until you complete the task or catch up. That's very important. Before you begin using ChatGPT, please open the workbook. The link is, as you can see, right here, and you can copy that. Just pause and copy it if you need to. That matters because the workbook gives you structure before the conversation starts. Without this structure, it is easy to type a vague question and you will get a vague answer. The workbook slows that down. It asks you to think first. What am I trying to accomplish? What background does ChatGPT need? What rules should guide the answer? What kind of help do I want? Questions, a checklist, a script, a comparison, or even a plan. This is the difference between casually chatting with AI and using it as a serious preparation tool. Do not start by asking ChatGPT to solve the whole problem. Start by opening the workbook and filling in the first few blanks. Then use ChatGPT with a purpose. The workbook keeps you in charge. ChatGPT is your helper. You are the decision maker. The first step in the workbook is to name your goal. That sounds simple, but in fact, it is where many people go wrong with ChatGPT. Yes, at the very beginning of their interface. They ask a broad question like, what should I do? That gives ChatGPT too much power and too little direction. The better approach is to tell ChatGPT exactly what kind of help you want to the extent that you can define it. For example, help me prepare questions for my doctor. Help me organize this medical bill, the elements in it, so I can understand what this is all about. Help me make a checklist before I visit a car dealer. Help me write a polite but firm email. Help me compare these two options, whatever they are, and that is the goal. You are not asking ChatGPT to take over. Never do that. You are telling it what job to do. In the workbook, write down the situation and the specific help you want. The clearer the goal, the better the answer. Our rule is, do not ask AI to decide for you. Ask AI to help you prepare. Once you've named and spelled out your goal, the workbook will then ask for background. This is the exact place where ChatGPT becomes much more useful. A weak prompt, so-called, gives almost no context. Help me with this bill. A stronger prompt gives ChatGPT the situation, where in essence, as you can see, the prompt is the question or what you're writing back to ChatGPT. So the situation, I received a medical bill for $684. I expected the amount to be lower. I do not recognize the company name, and I want to help preparing questions before I call the billing office. That background changes everything. Now ChatGPT knows what kind of problem you are facing. The same rule applies to a car deal, not just type. Once you have given ChatGPT your goal, your background, and your rules, the next step is to ask the right kind of output. This is rather important. Do not just ask for help. Ask for the form of help you actually need. If you are preparing for a doctor visit, ask for a list of questions. If you are dealing with a confusing bill, ask for a checklist of missing information. If you are calling an insurance company, ask for a phone script. If you are comparing two options, ask for a comparison table. If you are overwhelmed, ask for a step-by-step plan. Sounds logical, and this works. The workbook gives you a place to choose the output before you type the prompt or the question. That keeps the answer practical. For example, give me 10 questions to ask my doctor. Create a checklist for reviewing this bill. Draft a polite but firm email asking for clarification. Make a comparison table of these two choices. Give me my next 3 steps. And that is how ChatGPT becomes useful. You are not asking it to think for you. You are asking it to produce something you can review, edit, verify, and use. Our rule is, ask for a tool you can use, not an answer to blindly follow. Now let's use the workbook with a real example, a doctor's visit. This is one of the best uses of ChatGPT for seniors because medical appointments can move quickly and it is easy to forget what you wanted to ask. Start with the workbook. Write the goal. I want to prepare questions before my doctor visit. Then write the background. I have been feeling more tired than usual. I take several medications, and I want to make sure I understand what to ask during the appointment. And then set the rules. Use plain English. Do not diagnose me. Do not give medical advice. Help me just to prepare questions for my doctor. Now ask ChatGPT for the right output. Give me a short list of questions I can bring to my doctor visit. That is a strong use of artificial intelligence. ChatGPT is not diagnosing you. It's not replacing your doctor. It is helping you prepare so you can use your appointment better. After ChatGPT gives you the questions, write the best ones in the work. Bring them with you. Our rule is use ChatGPT before the appointment so you are better prepared during the appointment. Now let's take a look at another scenario for the workbook. In this case, it will be a confusing medical bill. That sounds familiar. And it can be used as another strong case for ChatGPT because medical bills often arrive with codes, dates, provider names, insurance adjustments, and balances that are hard to understand. Start with the workbook. Write the goal. I want to understand what questions to ask before I pay this bill. Then write the background. I received a bill for $684. I do not understand why I owe this amount. I want to know whether insurance was billed, what service this was for, and whether the provider can explain the balance. And now you set the rules again. Use plain English. Do not tell me whether I legally owe the bill. Help me just to prepare the questions to ask the billing office and my insurance company. And then you ask ChatGPT for the right output. Create a checklist of questions I should ask before paying this medical bill. This keeps ChatGPT in the right role. It is not deciding whether the bill is valid. It is not giving legal advice. It is just helping you prepare a stronger conversation. After ChatGPT gives you the checklist, copy the best questions into the workbook. You see there's a pattern here. Then use the workbook during the call. Write down who you spoke with, the date, what they said, and what documents they promised to send, if any. The Senior Power Rule: a bill is a claim. Before you pay, ask them to explain it clearly and put important answers in writing. Moving right along, let's use the workbook now as a tool before visiting a car dealer. This is where preparation absolutely matters. A car deal can move quickly. The conversation may shift from the vehicle to the monthly payment, the trade-in, the financing, the warranty, the protection package, the service contract, the dealer add-ons, and the paperwork. Wow. That can overwhelm anyone. The workbook helps you slow it down. Again, before you even walk in, start with the goal. I want to prepare before I visit a car dealer, so I do not get rushed into add-ons, financing terms, or a vehicle that does not fit my needs. Then write the background. I am a senior buyer. I want a vehicle that is easy to enter and exit, has good visibility, simple controls, comfortable seating, and clear safety features. In addition, I would like help in preparing questions about the full price, your add-ons, the financing, my trade-in value, and some warranty options. Then set the rules. Use plain English. Do not choose the car for me. Help me prepare the questions and a checklist I can bring to the dealership. And now ask ChatGPT for the right output. Create a car dealer visit checklist for a senior buyer, including questions about price, add-ons, financing, and so on, and particular vehicle fit, where vehicle fit means whether or not on a whole it is the right vehicle for me. That is use. ChatGPT is not buying the car. It is helping you walk in better prepared. After it gives you the checklist, copy the best questions into the workbook. Bring the workbook with you. Do not rely on your memory. Senior Power rule: before you enter the dealership, know your questions. Before you sign, know the full price, the real price. We will now use the workbook for one of the most important situations that seniors face today: a suspicious message, phone call, email, text, or an online request. Scams, unfortunately, have become more convincing because scammers can use fake caller IDs, fake emails, emergencies, voices, and urgent language designed to make you react before you think. This is exactly where the workbook can help. Start with the goal, as usual. I want to slow down and evaluate whether this message or call may be a scam before I respond. Then write the background. I received a message claiming there is an urgent problem. The sender wants me to click a link, call a number, send money, provide information, or, of course, act immediately. I want help identifying the warning signs and preparing safe next steps for me and my family and other supporters. And then set the rules. Use plain English. Do not tell me the message is definitely real or definitely fake unless the evidence is clear. Help me identify the red flags, the safe questions to ask, and steps to verify the claim without using the contact information provided in the message. And then you ask ChatGPT for the correct output. Create a scam warning checklist for this, and give me safe steps to verify it without clicking links, sharing personal information, or sending money. And that keeps ChatGPT in the right role. It is not replacing law enforcement. It is not making a final judgment. It is helping you slow the situation down, keeping you in control. After ChatGPT gives you the checklist, write down the warning signs in the workbook, and then verify through a trusted source, not the phone number, link, or contact information provided by the suspicious message. Senior Power rule: urgency is a weapon. Slow down, verify independently, and do not send money or private information under pressure. We got it. So this is critical. After ChatGPT gives you an answer, you do not treat it as finished. ChatGPT can sound clear, confident, and helpful even when the answer might be incomplete, outdated, or even wrong. So what is the next step? It's a review. Ask yourself, does this answer make sense? Perhaps something is missing? Did ChatGPT assume something I did not say? Is there anything here that should be checked against some official document, such as a bill, a statement, an appointment note, contract, whatever? Does this involve medical, legal, financial, tax insurance, or safety issues where a qualified professional should be involved? The workbook gives you space to separate what is useful from what still needs to be verified. And that is how you use AI responsibly. You are not looking for a magic answer here. You are looking for preparation. Keep what helps, question what sounds uncertain, and verify anything important. The Senior Power rule is a confident answer is not the same as a verified answer. After ChatGPT's answer has been reviewed by you, the workbook will now bring you back to action. That matters because information alone is not enough. Our goal is not to collect a long AI answer. It is to decide what you will do next or help you. Maybe the next action is to call the doctor's office. Perhaps it is to ask the billing department for an itemized statement. Or it is to compare two vehicles. Or to ask a family member to review something with you. Perhaps it is to save the answer and come back to it later, which is an interesting approach and many times quite valid. Write the next action in the workbook. Make it highly specific, not I need to handle this. Instead, write call the billing office on Tuesday and ask for an itemized statement. Or bring these 5 questions to my doctor appointment. Or ask the dealer for the full out-the-door price in writing. And this is where the workbook turns ChatGPT from a conversation into an actual plan. The rule, do not stop with information. Turn preparation into a clear next step. Now we must talk about one of the most important safety rules in the workbook, and that is what not to share. Although ChatGPT can certainly be useful, you must never treat it like it's your private vault, a bank, a doctor's office, or a government agency. Before you put anything into any AI tool, you must stop and ask, does it really need this information to help me prepare? And most of the time the answer is no. So things like Social Security number, your Medicare number, bank accounts, and so forth, you never ever enter. Do not paste full medical records, legal documents, wills, contracts, settlements, and so forth into ChatGPT unless you're using a highly secure professional system and fully understand, even in that case, the privacy risks. You can still use ChatGPT safely by describing the situation in general terms instead of typing. So, for example, my Medicare number is, say, I have a Medicare-related question. Instead of typing, here is my full bank statement, say, I am reviewing a financial document and want help making a list of questions. Instead of typing a full medical record, say, I have a doctor visit coming up and want help preparing questions. The workbook teaches you to give ChatGPT just enough background to be helpful without giving it private information it absolutely does not need. That is the balance. Use AI to organize your thinking, use it to prepare questions, use it to draft a checklist or phone script, but protect your private details. The Senior Power rule, share the situation, protect the identity, keep private information private. Another critical point. ChatGPT can be useful, but it can also be wrong. And one of the risks is that it may sound confident even when the answer might be incomplete, outdated, or mistaken. And that is why the workbook does not tell you to copy ChatGPT's answer and act on it blindly. It tells you to review it. If ChatGPT gives you a medical explanation, you must check it with your doctor. If it gives you information about a bill, check the bill, the insurance statement, and the provider's records. If it gives you legal or financial language, you must check it with a qualified professional. And if it gives you instructions that feel risky, confusing, or too certain, stop and verify. AI is not a judge. AI is not your doctor. It is not your lawyer. It is not your insurance company. All it is a preparation tool. Use it to organize your thinking, create better questions, and prepare for conversations. Do not use it as your final authority. The Senior Power Rule: when the issue matters, verify before you rely. Not to sound too redundant, but as we close, remember the role of the workbook. It is a preparation tool. It is here to help you slow down the process, organize the facts, ask better questions, and get ready for important conversations. It is not medical advice, legal advice, financial, tax, and so forth advice, certainly not professional advice. And it is not a final authority. AI can be useful, but it can also be wrong, incomplete, outdated, or misleading. Use the workbook wisely. Use it to prepare questions or to create checklists or organize your thinking. Write down what needs to be verified. But before you make an important decision, make sure of the facts. Review the records and speak with qualified professionals when needed. The goal is not to let AI take over. It is to help you become harder to rush, harder to confuse, and much better prepared to act with confidence. Please remember to subscribe, to like us, and recommend our senior community channel. We appreciate the time you spent. I believe it was quite useful. I hope you do too. And we will see you and speak to you in our next episode. Till then, please take care.